Let's discuss this further with Chris Doyle, a Middle East commentator. He joins us live from London. Chris, welcome. So Donald Trump says that phase 2 begins right now. But as we've just been hearing from our correspondent Rahul, there are elements of phase 1 that have not been fully implemented. We're seeing the Rafah crossing still closed, the aid flow still restricted. So do you think these issues can be ironed out?
Well, let's hope they can, because it would be a tragedy of epic proportions if the progress that has been made so far was to be reversed. You know, getting aid in such as it is. I mean, we should not have a situation in which the number of trucks are being counted, to be honest. We should have full, unimpeded access for aid. But getting 600 trucks in, of course, is significantly better than 0 trucks in. So, of course, we don't want to see any of this derail what there is now, a ceasefire, the release of those hostages and detainees. And that is absolutely key. And I think it's really incumbent on the authorities, the powers that be, to try to do everything to ensure that we create a better climate between the various parties by ensuring these early phases stick, are adhered to, and can show some progress. So it would be, it's really vital that we do that. For the later stages, these are going to be much tougher. They're going to be tougher not least because the absence of any real detail or sequencing in the proposals that Donald Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu agreed to. We're not really quite sure how the decommissioning of weapons would happen, Hamas being disarmed, the way in which all of this is going to progress and quite in what order. And that is, in some ways, it's a help because it allows room for negotiation, some flexibility. In other ways, it sows the seeds of distrust and disorder.
As you mentioned, Chris, part of phase 2 is that disarming of Hamas and the decommissioning of weapons. I mean, what do you think Hamas will consider appropriate conditions in order for them to do that?
Well, Hamas will be looking, no doubt, to see if it can extract some clearer concessions, in inverted commas, from the United States in terms of things like the scope and speed and extent of the Israeli withdrawal, that there will be greater Palestinian agency over decisions about the reconstruction and future governance of Gaza. So Hamas will be looking for some sort of cover if it is to go ahead with any handing over of its weapons. I mean, we're not really even in the stage that all of this can be verified as well. There's no international stabilization force prepared, ready, with a mandate as yet to go in and assist in that process, to verify it. There is still so many pieces to be got together to actually get this going. And I don't think we should let haste be the enemy of progress here. It's very important that all of this happens, of course, but ultimately, we've got to ensure those key successes in the first few days are built upon and are solid, because we just cannot, Palestinians in Gaza cannot afford to go back to the days of endless bombing, starvation, siege, and denial of life-saving aid.
Chris Doyle, Middle East commentator live there from London. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.